Hi guys, and welcome back to DIY Ideas. My name is Laura, and I am kind of helping out Aoife here a little bit, and I am helping out with trying to get you excited for knitting. We will try something really particular today, and we will actually be designing our own knitting pattern or our own knitting chart. If you don't exactly know how to read a knitting pattern or a knitting chart, then please go ahead and watch my video on it, because that's really important to actually understand what we're doing here and how to read it all. Because yeah, that's just very different between knitting and it depends obviously on how if you're using the round knitting needles and are knitting in rounds, or and yeah, just basically are doing it like it's showing here on the chart, or if you are knitting open like this, flat, and are always switching back and forth, because the ones on the back that you're doing on left, on the front will look like right, and vice versa. That's not what we're talking about here today though, so please go ahead and watch that video if you still need help with that. Okay, let's get started. So it's possible that you want to make a blanket for a baby, or maybe a sweatshirt, and maybe you need to start with 60 stitches or 120 stitches, and that should be smooth on the right side. And you say, now that's a little boring. I want to have a little more structure. Some like 3D effect, for example, then it'd be great to work with left and right stitches, and you can design your own pattern. What I would do here usually, let me push this aside here, I would make a chart like this. So in this case we have 6 stitches in width and 6 stitches in height. I'm going to play with that a little bit. I can obviously make this as I want to, make this pattern as I want to, and at the end I decided on this pattern. This is completely identical 4 times here. I made this, just 4 times here so I can control and see if I'm actually doing this right, and I can just move this around, for example like this or like this, and just height wise. And with that I can recognize that this pattern that I just designed here, I can repeat this as long as I want, basically until the wool is done, or until I get to the amount of stitches that I'm trying to reach. So if I'm supposed to do 60 stitches, because this is 6 stitches wide, we can make this 10 times. If we're doing this in rounds, it's perfect. If I'm doing something flat like this that I have to connect in the end, I have to see if I need border stitches here or not. But yeah, border stitches here, you can also have them here on the chart, just like this. For example, you have my numbers here, but you can also put the border stitches here. Yeah, so this is my border stitch here, for example. And then here, this is where the pattern starts. Okay. By the way, this here, what I put on the chart, today it's a little more of a gray day, but last night I forgot actually to finish this off with a good border here. I definitely recommend just trying it out and being open to mistakes also. In terms of height, you can continue crocheting like this until you reach the centimeters or the amount of stitches you want or need. In the terms of height, this is usually a little more flexible. For let's say it's a scarf, for example, you obviously just look if it's long enough for the person you're crocheting it for. But yeah, for the width, you definitely should look that it's approximately the right amount of stitches for your width that you want, and so that it's a good pattern and you don't have to stop it in the middle of a pattern. Okay, let's see. So now let's get started with the knitting. For me, it's easiest to keep this as simple as possible. So here we have nice, pretty colors. But for me, honestly, I get a headache from this. So I'm not going to use that. You can also have it like this, kind of like in a, you know, a real knitting pattern. So for the vertical ones, it'd be right stitches, for the horizontal ones, left stitches, but I also, for me, that's kind of tough. So this is my simple version. So it's either empty or filled squares here. And so the empty squares here are right stitches, and the ones that are filled are left ones. Only to color in the squares is also difficult, so I colored them in and then put a horizontal line, which is the symbol for a left stitch. Okay. And so the empty ones are the right stitches, and the ones that are filled with the horizontal line, I don't know why, but for me this works really well for the left stitches. Okay. Just a little more information here as a suggestion for those that want to, you know, fully want to translate this for the people who always turn around their work. And so in the ones that where you go back, so in the even rows, in the first one you would, you know, crochet, knit it just like as it is. And then you turn your work around, so then it's the opposite, right? So it'd be left, so this one left, right, left, left, right, left, left. Okay, so it's a little complicated, but you can also write it down with L's and R's, but honestly for me this is also horrible. I like it like this. And I will also not only lay down the one, but I will actually lay down, you know, the four of them. Because for me, I don't know, this just gets it into my brain much, much better. It's a nicer overview. So for me, this is now obvious that there's two left stitches next to each other, for example, versus if I just have the one, I sometimes forget that there's two following right after each other. But if I have them, yeah, laying here like this, it's for me much clearer what I have to do. Okay, finally, you can obviously also just cut out something bigger, make something bigger. I've prepared this here also. So this is a cute heart. I did it like this here, so it's 14 stitches wide and 11 stitches high or tall. If I wanted to play around with this a little bit, then I could also see if I like it like this, for example, because now it's identical, but I could also, you know, make two more of these. Obviously then I would have four. Would make sense, but I didn't. Because I'm still kind of in my, you know, finding phase. I could see, do I like it when it's one further down, for example. Then here I would have these rows here cut off, basically, and I would only have 10 rows here. But then that what I cut off here, I would have to obviously like put in on this one. So these three stitches that are missing, I would have to put on the bottom here. And because it is a mirror, this should be down here also, right? Does that make sense? Even, and also if I'm doing this here, so if I wanted there to be not be a hole in between the two hearts, then I would have to paint this in here as well. And then, you know, maybe I would have less stitches here in the width. Okay, so just like feel it out, see what makes sense for you and for your pattern or for your idea, and just make sure that it's all always, you know, makes sense in terms of that you can always switch them around and it still fits. I was thinking maybe I could, you know, put these left stitches in here also, but it always has to repeat, obviously. One more tip here for you, if you have border stitches, then please just make sure you don't forget about them. And yeah, just make sure you always start with your pattern in the same spots. Keep it as easy as possible, or find out what works for you, and then yeah, see what kind of pattern, what kind of symbol works for you best. For me, it's definitely this one here with the colored fields and the horizontal lines. That is definitely for me. And then yeah, I would say have more than one of these squares also, or these rectangles. Then you can, you know, move this all around and just have more of an idea of what it looks like. And then my last tip is just, you know, make mistakes, have fun, try it out, and then please go ahead and write me in the comments when you have tried it and what exactly you have tried. And then also, you know, write me for any other ideas, what else you would like to see. And I would like if you like my channel and maybe subscribe also. And then this is all still very new for me. So yeah, please give me all the feedback you have, and hopefully I'll see you next time back here. Bye!